So Darryl Beckett is someone that I met, I'm not sure, Darryl, probably 4 years ago, was that we sat and spent some time together. And so we had some good conversations around some things related to Weinbrenner and serving God and ministry oriented. And so it's a privilege to have him with us here this evening. And just a quick little background on Darryl: called to the pastor, called to be a pastor when he was around 15. And so meaning just a life of call and what it means to follow that. He's a lifelong learner. He's an MDiv student at Weinbrenner, but when we talked, even that wasn't part of the journey. So God continues to form and mold, and it's exciting to see how that has played out now. Most exciting right now, a father, a grandfather, a husband, a pastor at Life Change Church in Newark, Ohio, and most importantly, you're here with us tonight. So Darryl, I'm going to stop talking and let's hear from you.
Well, greetings, Weinbrenner Theological Seminary, Board of Trustees, academic and administrative staff, current fellow students, alumni, donors, prospective donors, and other distinguished guests. It's an honor to share part of my story during such an incredible evening. What I hope that you find is what I share is not about me at all, but rather so many others, including you. My journey to Weinbrenner began in the spring of 2001. I was about to graduate with a bachelor's degree in church ministry. At that time, I began looking at MDiv programs around the country. I found a few that piqued my curiosity, but what stood out to me the most was the cost. I had borrowed money all 4 years of my undergraduate degree and could not reconcile taking on any more student debt. At that time, I pulled off my best Gideon, and I made a deal with God. I was a Master's of Divinity when God provided a way for me to do it without further debt. Fast forward to 2014. My family went through a traumatic experience that ultimately led to my wife, Kelly, who some of you know, seek professional counseling. As is so often the case with God, it was during my wife's brokenness and crying out to God that she discovered her life's work. She already had an established career in victim advocacy, a master's degree in education, but it was through the help she received in counseling that she felt called to pursue a master's in clinical counseling. She did not grow up a Christian or with an extensive biblical background, so she decided she wanted a degree from seminary to gain a firm foundation in the Word of God, and she found Weinbrenner. Kelly graduated from the MAC program in 2018, a completely different person than the woman that entered the program as a member of the first ever MAC cohort. People like Dr. Arndt, Dr. McGibbon, and Dr. Ines changed my wife's life forever, and therefore changed our family forever. Today, Kelly owns her own practice. She serves as the interim executive director of a domestic violence shelter, and she occasionally guest lectures at Weinbrenner. As an alumnus, Kelly receives emails regarding current happenings at WTS. August 4th, we were in the middle of a lunch date when the email regarding the new tuition plan arrived. It redirected the rest of our afternoon and subsequently the next 3 years of our lives. At $300 a month, God provided a way for me to pursue a Master's of Divinity without taking on additional debt. Now it's my turn to keep good on the deal. I've just started my third trimester. As a spouse of a student, I already had such high regard for Weinbrenner. As a student, I have even more. I greatly value the vast difference of faith traditions and personalities that make up the student body and faculty at Weinbrenner. I've been challenged in ways I was not prepared for, affirmed in ways that I needed, and solidified already strong areas of my faith. Other than hitting my academic achievement goals, the highlight of my career as a student so far has been being invited to debate our academic dean, Dr. Bruce Coates, in front of my peers. It was both daunting and exhilarating. Upon completion of my degree, it's my hope to find a position as an adjunct instructor. I'm passionate about end-of-life care, and I'm intrigued by chaplaincy. I do not necessarily know what my future holds, but I'm boldly believing that the steps I'm taking today at Weinbrenner will lead me to my tomorrow. And of this, I am certain. In the same way my journey to Weinbrenner was not about me, but so many others, wherever my steps take me, my future journey will be about others as well. To the Board of Trustees, thank you for boldly believing for the provision of God in the preparation of students, and the pledge to keep quality graduate level education affordable and accessible. To those of you who are already donors, thank you. Thank you for changing my family and approximately 50 other families represented by our student body and all of the lives that we will touch. You truly are storing up treasure where neither moth nor rust destroy. To those who are considering becoming a donor, thank you. Your time and your money are both valuable. You are undoubtedly inundated with opportunities to give. Thank you for choosing to be here this evening and hear about the difference Weinbrenner Theological Seminary is making around the world. I encourage you to pray about joining us at Weinbrenner. I invite you to boldly believe for what part you can play in empowering Weinbrenner to enable students to afford graduate level education without debt. Somewhere there's another Darryl Beckett waiting to study, willing to study, but needing an opportunity to do so without debt. Together with the help of God, our board of trustees, our staff and faculty, our former, current, and future students, and you, our current and future donors, we can directly impact the world with the hope of the gospel of Jesus Christ and change families' lives forever. Thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of your evening.